Hi, everybody. I'm Selinda. We have Ali here, Eleanor, and Alan. And we are here with Rbhu, and we're also waiting for our slideshow to come up. Okay, here we go. Great. So who are we? We are an engineering company that specializes in large-scale artwork. What does that mean? That means that we run analysis on pieces and produce construction drawings that fabricators and contractors can build from. Those drawings can also be used to submit for permit at your local jurisdiction. We're licensed in about half of the United States right now and always open to get more license for projects that are in need. And we do some work outside of the country as well. We have over 10 years experience. We started the company almost 10 years ago, but have been engineering art pieces since 2010. And in that time, we've designed and engineered over 350 art sculptures from 6 to 100 feet tall. Yeah. Let's see. Oh. Yeah. There's not supposed to be music. We got our start, our company was born out of Burning Man, essentially. So we've been working with the organization since 2014, where they're engineering consultants and provide engineering support during Build Week to artists that are building their pieces. And we've been engineering the man since 2017. This is the man this year, Mud Man. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw that in the news. But aside from Burning Man, we have expanded and we do a lot of other public art projects, and I'll let Ali explain more of that.
Hello, everyone. So, our journey took us to the public work, public projects, and public sculptures. So this is Peekaboo by Heather Baguette. We have done numerous public art, and I'm going to go to different categories that we've done. This piece is a mechanical piece by Peter Hudson. It's almost 3-story tall. It's human drive. So people pull the ropes and gives you animation. It's a scopotropic zoetrope, large scale. This frame per second doesn't match the videos. It's hard to see the animation, but in real life is phenomenal. We've had people think that there were real things happening, so real people dressed up. Right. So this was debuted in France recently, actually, and we have done airport projects. This is Matthew Mazzata. Actually, he won the CODA Awards for this piece. One thing to notice is that airport projects require a lot of coordination. So we've done it. We've done a handful of those at SFO. This is a playground piece. It's called Mia's Dream Come True by Mark Eigel. It's the first playground that was designed for people with disability. And also playgrounds have their own ball game that you need to kind of pay attention to and regulations around it. We have done projects for a lot of festivals, Light in a Bottle. This was as EDC, Coachella. This piece particularly was done by looking up art, Wonderbloom. There are a bunch of bridges that people walk. It's very interactive and fun. We also do traveling pieces, and by traveling pieces means that you need to transport it, you need to install it in 2-3 days, and you need to deinstall it. So there is a lot involved with that. And also, foundation, you need to temporarily anchor these things down. So we use base plate, or we had numerous techniques that we could employ. So this is Rainbow Bridge by Josh. We've done also international projects. This is Flyberry by Christian Sprung. So this is at Chatsworth's house in United Kingdom. We had to also learn a little bit about the United Kingdom code books. So that was a good learning project. Now we're familiar with it. We've done projects in Dubai and other countries as well. We really want to do projects in Middle East. So if you do have projects in Middle East, please do talk to us. So we've also done architectural pieces. This is by Artistry Team, Spyglass, and it's a glamping Airbnb sort of structure. And also, we've done stage projects, concerts. This project is the X by ZGF Architects. You see the X structure at the top, it moves over the crowd and they bring it back behind the DJ. Now Alan's gonna talk about 3 projects in more details, and here you go.
Hello, my name is Alan, and the first project to go over is the Empyrean Temple. This was designed by Renzo, and this is one of the monumental centerpieces that we have at Burning Man. This was in 2022. This thing is 70 feet tall at the tallest, and it spans 200 feet. When clients come to us and give us the sizes of these huge structures, typically, a lot of times, they have to scale down because of the logistics of installing something, especially at Burning Man, or because of budget reasons. So when Renzo came to us with this one and said he wanted to build this 200-foot thing, and I'm like, yeah, sure. Eventually we'll scale that down, but no, that's what it came out to be. We got to successfully put that out there out there on Playa in 2022. It's composed of 8 canopies. The canopies are those legs on the outside, and those are just built with standard roofing practices, and they're all cladded with these laser cut plywood that gives each one a unique pattern. And then his vision was to have this center prism called the Flame, which weighed 20,000 pounds, to hang over, be suspended, almost like it's floating in the middle. So that was one of our engineering challenges. That flame is being held up by guy wires, along with some other structural connections. But part of the consideration for something as massive as this is consideration for people, coming through this space and experiencing it and being safe. And so this is like a 20,000 pound spear, basically. So this is something that we definitely took a lot of care to design, especially even though it was for a 7-day temporary event. It was very important for us to make sure that everyone had a safe experience, and that happened, and it was very successful. And there's another picture of all of that. Oh, it also won this year's CODA Awards, one of the awards. Another piece is The Seagrass by James Peterson. This was recently installed in Louisiana. This one is built out of 30 or some odd rows of aluminum plates, and they're all riveted together to make this organic form that you kind of see hidden underneath the seagrass that makes the main structural body of it all. And this is hanging from a ceiling. And one of the considerations we have to keep in mind when we design something like this that's hanging indoors is to make sure that it doesn't hit anything, it doesn't eventually run into the wall or damage any of the other architectural parts of the building. So it's important to get those cables in and make sure that it's aesthetically pleasing and it doesn't really interfere with the art piece itself. Here's some work in progress pictures and some close-ups of the aluminum plates. And this is a little video. You can see how beautiful with the LEDs and those seagrass cladding just really, really finishes up that effect. Another piece that we have is Ad Astra. This one is by Megan Musholder. This was installed in Atlanta, Georgia for a Microsoft corporate building. This is a 40-foot tall tower, and part of Megan's style is to do these woven strings that are really tight to make these straight lines, but create a parabolic curve, so when you have a bunch of them, it makes this curve. And this is a 40-foot tall tower, so we had to put in some structural elements in there. So we have structural guy wires in there, and our considerations for this is to make sure that we're not just adding, unappealing structural elements. So to kind of integrate with the artist's design, we have structural guy wires hidden among this mesh of cables. So it's very important for us as engineers that work very closely with artists to keep in mind what the artist's intentions are. We don't want to just, put in a bunch of structural elements that would detract from the visual style that the artist is hoping to get. And then Eleanor.
Yeah. Thanks, Alan. My name's Eleanor, and I get to talk about my favorite thing that we're talking about today. So we get to work on awe-inspiring art. It inspires us, it inspires awe in us, and we get to do that because of the community of artists and designers who partner with us and continue to want to work with us and let us be a part of their process. And so it really is something we feel honored to be a part of, and we really do feel like this is our community. And so one of the things we've started doing is a giving campaign. And so it all started actually back many years ago with a project of some coyotes. Well, it was a single coyote for the first installation. And an artist friend came to us with this idea that they wanted to create a wayfinding and also informational installation close to the border to provide help and resources and information to undocumented workers as they came into the country, and something that would be helpful and informative. So they approached us. They didn't have a lot of budget, but they needed to get through a permit with the city in order to install. So we just decided to do it. We decided it was a really important piece to be installed, and it needed to happen whether or not they had the funds. So we just came alongside and supported them pro bono. You can see the coyote actually up here in the top. And then that was just such a rewarding experience that we decided we needed to keep doing that in an intentional way, not wait for artists to be brave enough to come just ask us for help. And so we do a giving campaign every year. We have ever since the first installation, and we donate pro bono engineering support for artists that may have a passion project, a community-based project, especially projects that are giving back to their community in some way. We really want to give back to our community in that way. So the giving campaign is actually going on right now. We will grant 3 awards later this fall at some point. One will be a full engineering support for a project, and then we'll provide 2 half engineering support. That way we can have 3 projects that we get to support this year. So if you have a project, if you know of someone with a project that kind of seems to fall in line with this, we would love to participate in the process and support your art, your friend's art, whoever's art in that way. So on our website, you can apply. You can also look at that QR code. We also have a booth upstairs. We would love to chat more with you. We've got hot sauce made by Ali, homemade hot sauce, and other swag and things like that. Yeah, so if the food's not spicy enough for you, definitely come upstairs and grab yourself some habanero hot sauce for that. But other than that, we'll just open it up to questions, but feel free also to come upstairs and chat with us. Oh yeah, and that's our information.
Thank you for your presentation. It was really inspiring and refreshing to see kind of an engineering firm with this focus in mind and with the generosity that you guys have. So I have a question for you in terms of your pro bono project and support that you have. Is there a sort of budget threshold in terms of, let's say you get a commission and the commission you receive for a project is, I don't know, has whatever their budget number is? Is that something that you guys look at when you're considering to be pro bono on a project or not? And is there kind of a threshold in terms of what's applicable?
Well, thank you. Basically we look at the engineering budget for our end to how much does it take for us to do the engineering. We do one for full pro bono for $6,000, and the other two projects are 50%, so $3,000 each. However, if your project is, it needs a lot of engineering, that's something that we will look at case by case. Maybe we'll cover the 6, and then the rest we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's our structure for the pro bono.
Yeah, so a lot of the application process is not intensive. I think we picked one off of a watercolor that someone submitted. So it's not maybe your standard RFP process.
Hi, I don't actually have a question. My name's Lynn Rogers. You've probably met me online before. You did a fantastic job engineering a project that was an absolute nightmare for us, which was for Johanna Pothig's large wall installation that she did with one hat, one hand. And you basically had to completely re-engineer a wall that was already engineered, and it was amazing how successful the project was. So I wanted to thank you. It's great to see you here in person, and you've been fantastic to work with.
Oh.
Any more comments like that?
So I'll just go through it here. Keep it coming.
Thank you, Fred. Hey, good afternoon. My name is Forrest Stearns, and I'm really curious, what advice would you have to artists who want to fabricate with you? What are the challenges that you see artists face that you could say, let's just immediately deal with this. Let's help you now. Like, what advice, straightforward, could you give to those of us who don't know this stuff?
I think, for me, I would say having the right team in place, it can be really helpful. I can understand how it probably can feel coming into the public art space and how challenging that would be. And I think trying to fly solo can really end up with artists coming out having a bad experience and not wanting to do it anymore, especially new voices. So I think when you're just breaking into that space, partnering with people who can mentor and help, that to me seems like that executes the project, but then leaves the artist wanting to do more work rather than kind of being like, forget this, like never again. Do you guys have other thoughts?
I would also say prioritizing your design is very important. The design features, the ones that you think the most important parts of it and the parts that you're okay with giving up. Because coming into it as a new artist, we've seen that a lot, that people have huge ambitious ideas and then implementation becomes a little difficult. So then the prioritizing the design features that is important to you is a key.
I would also add to start small and build prototypes. If you're new to building sculpture, there's a lot you can learn by just getting your hands on some material and working with it. So starting small, yeah, and prototypes are great. They really help in the long run.
Let's do two quick ones. One here. Real quick, do you guys work out of Florida? And do you have any experience with like wind loading?
Stop. Sorry?
Can you repeat that?
Oh, sorry. Do you guys work with Florida requirements, in particular, like wind loading and hurricane stuff?
Absolutely, yes. We've been given the hard stop though, so we have to stop. But yes, absolutely, we have licenses in Florida, and we definitely deal with hurricanes.